create something. So pull up a seat, lurk away, whatever you like. But hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for all the support, for all the love, and for all the follows. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's really it. Let's get into some production. And yeah, any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave a comment. I will do my best to answer it. So, okay, I think we are all good to go, and we can start the process. The process of creating. Yeah. So a little early today, but it's all good. I'm okay with a little early riser, See if I can wake some folks up this morning with my noise. Okay. Anyway, sipping my coffee, listening to this tune. We'll get to work on it. And yeah, if you want to catch any like the previous videos or anything of my productions, just check me out on YouTube. There's tons more of this stuff on YouTube. You can catch it all. So anyways, we will hop into it. Yeah. Let's do this. Yo, what's up? How you doing, Florida vets? Basically, what I'm doing here is just sort of working on the arrangement side of things and, making this flow in a sense. Really focusing on like the intro portion since it's like 2 minutes, of the track. Um, and then I had an idea of like putting this little like bass cuts in here. So you can kind of see that happening down here at the bottom. But yeah, I hope you're doing great. Doing great. Already trying to learn from the stream. Yes, I shall teach you the ways. Sometimes I wonder how big of an SSD I will need to store all the samples. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. You don't need that much, to be honest. Like maybe just a I don't know, 500 gigs is probably plenty for to get you started. Like ideally, you probably want like a terabyte just to be safe. But I mean, you could samples. They kind of range from really big to really small. So just depends if you want if you need a lot of samples. But I don't know. I think like this Vengeance thing, it's only like maybe 10 gigs. Maybe. Let me see. Well, it's not even a gig. See? Yeah. This whole thing is not even. Oh well, this is a yeah. This little thing, this thing with all the samples is a gig. So like, it's not as big as you think. And I have 4 Vengeance packs, and they're 4.5 gigs. So it's not like they're big, but they're not like ridiculously big. But I mean, this stuff does add up. Like, yeah, there you go. Look, this is all the sounds that I've like bought and purchased or downloaded over the years. And you can see this is already 15 gigs, 17, 18, 20 gigs. It just keeps going. It's a lot. So yeah, it's like, like over the years you're gonna that number is gonna get bigger and bigger. So yeah, it's over 25 gigs of stuff already. And that's not even counting the plugins. There's 30 gigs and it keeps going. I kind of want to let it finish, see how big it is. I don't even know. 48 gigs. All right, about 50 gigs. Yeah, 48.5 gigs. So, like it does add up after a while, but like I said, this is my whole entire like sound bank sounds, all my sounds. But that doesn't include the plugins. So it's not like massive silent. Nexus, Contact itself is like 10 or 11 gigs. Um, just the bass, it's not counting all like the plugins, so it's pretty big too. Maybe due to regional issues, I can't seem to get into Freshly Squeezed website. Really? Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Like, there has to be some way around that. You should be able to get into it. Thinking about making this unique, and then just changing the pitch of my thingy. See if this works. Contact is a black hole. Amen to that. It sure is. Maybe. We'll see. Not really that noticeable in the mix, but It's all right. So far, so good. Sorry to interrupt. Do you have a personalized order when it comes to building up the bass line, like your percussions, or is it mostly back and forth? Say, put the kick and clap in, and see how long it goes after having the chords down. I mix it up for duets. Typically, my typical production style is to do the chords and like the bass, the chords, bass, and stuff first. Then I usually go with the kick, like kick next, then snare, then hats. If I don't do a kick, snare, hats, I'll put a loop in just to see how it feels. So like a loop, maybe like a percussion loop, and then throw a drum, like a kick drum on top of that loop, see how it feels, and go from there. After I have like a bass line going, then I'll go back and forth. So then like I'll say, oh, maybe the kicks needs to be better. And I'll mess with the kick some more, and then maybe the chords need to be different. So it's always like a, in the beginning, I always start with some kind of melodic part first. So if you if I create like something from scratch, I'm gonna mess with the chords and all this stuff first, and then once I find the groove I like, then I'm gonna start putting the beat in. So the kicks, the snares. Booger mode, what's going on, man? Hey, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing? So I hope that answers your question. I'm good. Happy to hear some tunes while I work. Hey, man, cool. Thanks for tuning in, of course, and I hope the tunes are good. Something a little different than my usual stuff. Kind of a little bit more upbeat, so maybe it'd be a little bit more energetic. Or vets taking notes. Yep, that's a very helpful answer. Well, no problem, man. I'm glad that helps. Honestly, it's kind of like just do what feels good, and then you'll sort of develop a little pattern of doing things. So maybe try kick and like kicks and claps and stuff, percussive elements first. Get a good drum groove going because that's what you like, and then lay down some kind of melodic element. And then another song, say, okay, I'm gonna do like a melodic element first. So like maybe some chords first, and then lay your chords down, lay stuff down, then put the beat and the clap underneath and see how that feels. And if you prefer, the first method, just go with that. Like there's no like tried and true way. Everybody has a personal preference. So just feel free to, do whatever you feel comfortable with. But you do have to try different things so like, okay, I like the way this works. I like the way this sounds. I like doing, this feels comfortable. But you'll always kind of reward yourself by kind of mixing things up. I was going to say it sounds like a new style I love. Cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's like I do this every now and then. It's not very often. You know what I mean? Like I don't pull this kind of style out often. But every now and then I have to do it. So it just felt like a good time to do it. So we're kind of doing something a little different though. I'm pulling like bass cuts out this time from like a Vengeance pack and sticking them into the bass and just sort of seeing how that goes, seeing how it feels. And so far I'm liking it. And then the rest is going to be just it'll follow into the verse, whatever, like the full section of it later. But this is kind of centered around like a really long sort of intro. It's like a 2 minute sort of beat intro kind of thing, and then it's gonna have like a little verse section, um, which maybe it'll be 2 minutes, but I don't know if I'll actually have it for 2 minutes or not. But it's gonna follow around that, and then we'll have a little like breakdown back into some little verse section into an outro. So it might actually not even be this long. But I don't know. Or it might be really long. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. I gotta go get some more, something more coffee. I will be right back in just like 1 minute. haven't even started with this like melodic element that I was gonna put in. Hmm. My sister just texted me. Oh no, she's crazy. But this is melodic element that I have going on here. So we've got to figure it out how we're gonna put this in here. I have some ideas, but I kind of forgot I started just creating the other part of it. But I'm going to incorporate it in regardless, even if it's just like one note, you know. And this all stems from my concept. So if you, I mean, you might not have seen the original, you know, the original creation of the concept, but we have like this piano bit, and this is how I always typically create my songs, by the way, is I'll have it like created and done all on like a piano or something, you know, first, and then from there, I'll uh, I'll like arrange. And that's the whole gist of the song right there. But see, from that little bit though, we've made everything else. So, you know, for me, that's how I usually end up doing my productions in general is I'll create some kind of piano like concept. I'll use that as my baseline for helping me make decisions throughout the mix for arranging. And then it doesn't mean that I'll just follow that exclusively. It just gives me like a framework to work in, and gives me some like guidelines, so to speak, when I'm like arranging and whatnot. So you know, that's that's just a way to um, start your productions. You know, something simple where you don't have to make a whole bunch of like technical decisions at first, unless you just like to. You know, like some people that they like the program for the technicalities you can do. You know, and that's fine too. You know, like maybe starting with more technical ideas, you know, is probably decent as well. The most important thing though to always remember is that there's no concrete way. Like don't think you have to do it my way or this artist's way or that artist's way to make it be good, you know? Like there's no specific way. Just do what you like. You know, it's like art. Like pick the colors you like and draw and paint with those colors and forget what people think about them. Like if somebody doesn't like the way they sound or something, like they'll be all right. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for Duvets. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. So I think I'm gonna add this little because I've replaced it with some like other melodic instruments. So I think I'm gonna like introduce it slowly throughout the beat. It's a 2 minute long like intro, and I think that's enough time for me to introduce something. You know, we'll see. We'll see what I can do. I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go with it, but I'm just going to try what I can and see what sticks. And if I don't like it, we'll just delete it. You know what I mean? And since I have like a long, kind of drawn out melodic line, we're going to probably just chop it apart and pick out pieces that I like or that fit, with the beat, and then that way I can like reuse that piece over and over without having to use the whole melodic line. Yet, like I want to use the whole melodic line somewhere in the end, but in the beginning we just want like pieces of it to appear. I really like how these endings go. It does change kind of the nature of this song a little bit, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually kind of like it. messed up actually. It's always something weird like that. Like you hear it somewhere else, and it'll make more sense to change it to fit whatever you just heard. Like I hear something right here that I like a lot, and I want to like it's worth for me in my head. I'm like throw everything away. I like that, and let's focus on making that somehow really shine in the mix or in the song. And that's just me being an artist right here, you know. It's not like, I wouldn't really suggest anybody to do stuff like that. But you're likely going to get lost. But, I don't know. Some oriental elements. Yeah, it's a those are some like eastern sounds right there, but I don't know, it works. So I'm just playing around with it. Like it's entirely possible that I won't even use them. You know what I mean? Like I won't even use them or something. But you got to go through these motions in your productions a lot. That's why it's always worth creating your music, even if it's like not ideal or not great or not like perfect. It's worth doing it anyways because you just never know. Like it might just make sense to somebody. You know what I mean? So yeah. And I don't know, like I really like the like Shakuhachi sounds. I really like these. So I mean, it's just one of those things where I just have an affinity towards that. I'm not even like really like super into like the culture, even though I admire Asian sort of culture probably the most. Just the simplicity of it. And I'm a fan of things like I don't know, it just sounded to make sense. But anyway, I like those instruments. I like the way they sound. Like sound good to my ears. So I tend to like gravitate and use them in songs, even if it's not quite the right fit. Sarah, I'm from Asia. You're doing them great. Oh, thank you. And that's cool. Wow. We are far away from each other. They always give some sort of deep, reflective kind of emotion to me, which is like counterbalancing the energy from some stronger beats. Yeah, that's well said. I'm already listening to a great track. Thanks, man. Thanks for the love. Appreciate it. I don't know how great it is yet, but we're working on it, right? We're gonna see how far we can get. All right. I think this is decent enough for me to take a break and use the bathroom because I got to pee and start something new. So, give me just a few minutes here. Going to play this out, stretch, run to the bathroom, come back, and we'll probably just start a new concept. Just cause, and see what we can do. Really appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out. For Duvets, thank you, my friend.